Hey there, Chris here. I have a 2006 Miata, NC Miata, that I am taking out the factory seats and putting in some racing seats. Um, I noticed there weren't a whole lot of videos on this, so I just want to make a quick kind of improvised video to show you what I've done so far, and maybe it'll help somebody out. So, in the car, in the factory seats, in the driver's seat, there is an airbag sensor and a seat position slider, and then a seat belt click. What you call that? Thing to tell you that your seat belt's clicked in. On the driver's side passenger side, it's a little more complicated. There is seat occupancy sensors, a seat occupancy module, the airbag sensor, and the seatbelt clicker. So the seatbelt clicker is easy on both sides. When there is nothing connected to the connector, the car thinks you have a seatbelt plugged in, so you don't need to mess with that. The seat occupancy sensors were a little more challenging to mess with. So if you see this yellow connector here, that used to go to the side curtain airbag on the factory seat. So what you have to do is wire in a 2 ohm resistor into that loop, and it fools the car into thinking that you have a airbag. I used a 5-watt resistor, pretty big resistor, in case the airbags do actually go off. I wanted it to be able to handle the current and not burn the car up. Seat occupancy sensors, or show you where I moved them from. So in the factory rails, you'll see here and here is the occupancy sensors. They're removed by taking off this nut here, which is left-hand threads, and then taking these nuts off, and then there's 2 bolts that go through here. You take those off, and then you pull out this fork-shaped thing that goes into the sensor. Then you can kind of wiggle the sensor off after you've taken the harness off, of course. You do that on both sides, and Bob's your uncle. Here is the side curtain airbag wire that I just cut, and I used the connector to wire in that resistor. So one of the challenges is to figure out what to do with these sensors. There's a lot of different ways, a lot of different methods. I went ahead and used a piece of 1" by 12" aluminum bar stock. And what you do to mount them is these little wings here. Just put a nut and a bolt on both sides, and you tighten them down ever so slightly, just enough to where your airbag light goes out. And just by bending them a tiny bit, it senses the pressure. And that's all that takes. I'm going to take this and probably Velcro tie wrap it to the rear bracket of the seat mount, and that way it'll be nice and tidy. On the driver's side, the only trick is here's my little resistor plug, and then there's a seat position sensor on the driver's side. This normally mounts to the seat rail, and this is horseshoe shaped, so it's kind of open. So I taped it up to where it wouldn't get anything in it. What this does is it slides with the seat, and if you get to a certain point forward, it covers a metal tab that's built onto the seat rail, and the metal tab goes into the horseshoe, and it turns the airbag off because you're too far forward, so it's not safe to fire the airbag. So if you just leave this open you're good to go with nothing else. So I bought these seats off of Facebook Marketplace. I'm 5'10", 200 pounds, and I fit into these Corbeau Forza 2 seats. I got the brackets from Fab 9. Those guys steered me right. These are PCI adjustable mounts. And for the driver's side, I have the mount shifted all the way outboard to give enough room for the seat belt. And then I am in the second hole up here and the third hole up in the front. I couldn't get all the way to the bottom because the way this seat works, it hit on the bolts if I tried to go too low, so I had to settle for one up, but it's still pretty low. One of the problems I ran into was the seatbelt clicker is too low. So you have to reach your hand way around to click and unclick the seatbelt. So I took a piece of 1¼ steel, cut it out, drilled holes for my grade 8 hardware, and made it to where it extends up flush with the edge of the seat. So I'm gonna do that on driver and passenger side. And again, the seatbelt clicker wire, you don't have to do anything with it. Fortunately, it thinks there's a seatbelt in when it's disconnected. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's it.